Welcome, everybody. I'm really, really happy that you're here today. And I'm really happy to see that you've joined us. It's really a great experience for me because before we start and everybody's kind of coming in, it's really about like settling in, and you don't need to take notes right this minute. You just need to be here. You need to feel the room, feel us. We're here to help you through this journey, and I'm really, really excited. And yeah, just notice where you are. Notice that you're in a different place. There's no rush. This is going to be an amazing 90-minute time that we've got together. And yeah, I'm excited. So very welcome to everybody. And especially welcome to Tanya, who's my co-presenter today. And I'll introduce her a little bit later as we move forward. So drop in the chat so that everybody knows each other, because I know some of you know each other, but others don't. So maybe just drop your name, where you're from, and then so that you guys can start connecting. I know you're in the Telegram groups together, which is great. But yeah, start connecting. Western Australia. How's the weather that side of the world? Awesome. Okay. So over the last couple of weeks, I'm not sure about you guys, but I believe that most of us have kind of started to look at the world differently, look at wealth differently, look at things in a completely different way, right? And today, this session is really about your inner self, your inner assets, and your capacity to hold wealth and hold the things that matter to you going forward, right? The session is not about adding more to the pile that you've already got. It's definitely not that. And it's definitely not about putting more pressure onto you. It's really about bringing all of the amazing pieces together so that you start to align better, that you start to put this thing that you know yourself, that you're actually bringing something into a better space. So I'm hoping that you will enjoy that. And it's also, for me, it's not about getting stuff right. It's not about being perfect today. Many of us have this sometimes unrealistic expectation to be something that we're not, and to get things right and to be super amazing at everything. But today is not about that. It's not about being right. It's not about being perfect. It's not about performing. It's just about being. So I want you guys to enjoy the session because it's really about being present and being into the space. Yeah. And so I'm opening the space for you because I really just want you to enjoy today and explore today. So let me share my screen in the meantime. Give me a moment. Da, da, da. I'll have to create my own music as I go. Sorry, give me a moment. Talking and doing slides and sharing slides and stuff is not always the easiest. Are you guys able to see my screen? Amazing. Okay. All right. So yeah, just settle for a few minutes. I know that we have some ladies joining later, but just be, right? I'd like you to close your eyes and just pause, take away the distractions. I take away my distractions. Oh my word, I didn't even know my phone was beeping so loud. I'm so sorry about that. You see, it's a good session that we did that. Sorry, apologies. Let's go to sound, turn them off. Close your eyes, turn off any distractions, turn off anything that's gonna make you think about anything. Get into a place of calm and be present. Imagine your favorite place. All right. So now that you're here, this is where we're going to start. First question today. So this is where you start taking out your notepads and your pens and those little scribble notes that you guys do best. What would you like to get out of this masterclass? You can jot it down. You don't need to share. If you'd like to share, that would be wonderful. But take a moment to, actually jot it down. What do you want out of this session today? If you don't want to speak and you want to drop your feedback into the chat, that's also something that would be cool for you if you'd like. Did you set any intentions for your wealth in the last 12 months? Thanks, Shirley, for sharing. Whatever you set in the last 12 months, are they still valid, or is this still valid for you? And how does this make you feel? How do these things that you've just written down make you feel? Are you excited? Are you not excited? Are you afraid? Are you nervous? Are you happy? Welcome, Sophia. I'm going to give you some moments to just pause and settle in. There's no rush. It's not about being perfect today or doing anything fast. This is where we're starting with these couple of questions. So I'll leave it on the screen for a few more moments so that you can settle in. But it's really around, what do you want to get out of today? Have you set any intentions in the last 12 months for your wealth? That things that you've set, is it still valid, or are they still valid? And how do they make you feel? Does anybody want to share out verbally, or are you okay in the chat, or you want to say something? Tracy, yeah, you can just unmute.
Yeah, today I'd really like to get a little bit more clarity and energetic movement for myself, because I've been quite flat, and I know things are transforming inside and outside. But yeah, so it's just some clarity and also some connection with some, people that are more broad-minded. I don't know, bigger picture. Because I felt really insular, particularly after, I mean, I'm moving around a lot, but after my last move, I've moved somewhere bigger now, but it was very insular. So yeah, it's nice to, people, all over the place. And also I have made intentions, and it was really getting in a better place money-wise. And is it still valid? Yes and no. And well, I need to get in a better place, but am I excited? No, I'm just flat, because every time I think money and anything for me, if anything I have is driven by money, I just go really flat. And I can't, at the minute, I'm struggling with purpose. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm in sort of like a bit of a, but it was, yeah, it's good. It's good to be
Thank
here.
you so much for sharing. I'm so proud of you for sharing. Thank you for doing that, because it takes bravery to do that. And it's okay, right? So what I want you to do is just accept it's okay. You're okay. It's okay. Today is going to help you with a couple of transformations, hopefully, but it's also going to take time, right? And so just be a bit patient and enjoy the time. There's no rush. Okay. But thank you for sharing. Shirley, did you want to share by any chance? Maybe?
Yeah, sure. I like the idea of having the alignment across, your purpose and everything. So alignment's what I'd be looking for. My intentions for the next 12 months are locked in, absolutely. I have a revenue target for my business. I am trying to grow an online business, and it's been a bit of a struggle, but I am determined I'm going to make it happen. I have a real estate project going on, and I want to be able to sell what we're building for a really good profit. And I'd also like to get another book published this year. Everything I do in threes. So there's my 3 for the year. And how do I feel about them? I feel a mixture of being excited and quite scared.
Sorry, that happens to most of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you also for sharing. I mean, it takes bravery and courage to put things out there in front of people you don't know, but it's okay. And I'm really proud of you that you've said some things. And yeah, I think some of us are all scared about the things we put down on paper, right? Because it holds us accountable somewhere, which is yeah, one of those. So Amelia, I know that you're in and out because it was a last minute registration. Did you want to share anything? Did you want to drop in the chat? You're not here. Sophia, have you managed to get yourself sorted? Would you like to share a couple of these questions? Shall I just drop it into the chat and then you can answer when you're ready? Yes, no, maybe. Oh, we're struggling to come in because she's coming in again. Sorry, ladies. I think she's here. I think you're here twice. Hi, good morning. Did you want to share by any chance? Or are you still doing your lipstick? Can you hear me? You need to unmute yourself, my love.
Are you talking to me, Sophia?
Yes, I'm talking to you.
I'm in the car. I'm going to drive. Remember, I said I'm going to drive now and get home. I won't be able to. I want to listen, so I won't share just yet. But good morning, ladies. Lovely to join you this morning. And thank you, Michelle.
No worries. We'll see you shortly. Okay,
thank you.
Safe and listen carefully. All right. So at this point, if there's something that you guys want to put in the chat and you have questions, please do use it as that. And also remember you have the Telegram group, which we have available for also questions. This is to help you. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. But right now, I'm actually going to introduce to you the most amazing lady that I work with. Her name is Tanya. We've been working together for the last year or so, maybe, well, in this project. But before that, I think we've worked together for like 5-6 years before that in different areas and different projects around wealth dynamics, talent dynamics, corporate stuff. Also, with regards to what Tanya does is she's like myself, she's been mentoring clients for a long time. So one of her things is she's been mentoring people on wealth and their financial situations for over 10 years, I think. Whereas we kind of have different backgrounds, but similar in that space. She's also been in the financial services or financial industry for more than 20 years, which is a long time. And in the last 3 years, this is where we also came back together. She's been really facilitating a lot of transformation in the space of wealth. And so us working together has really empowered a connection that's really good because we both have the same value systems. We have both the same magic that we can help people with. And she's amazing in this sense. So I'm going to bring you on, Tanya. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment so you can just say hi. Yes, let's do that. And hi, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Or good afternoon to Western Australia, I guess. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Michelle, for having me here. It's really a pleasure to contribute to this masterclass for Shape Your Wealth. It was also great to see you all arrive in the Telegram group at different points in time, because we've created a Telegram group so that you already have like a preparation space and also a space where you can ask questions afterwards, after this masterclass, so that you have a whole journey and not only these 90 intense minutes which we've prepared. So I hope you will enjoy. And therefore, I suggest we get started on the next slide. Is that okay, Misha?
Definitely. Let me share and I will get going. Right. Okay. Right.
So thank you, Michelle, for introducing the session and for also introducing our starting point. What we are now doing is we look at wealth from a three-layer perspective. Some of the ideas I will be sharing, they might sound familiar because some of them we've already shared in the Telegram group to set the stage so that you already get a feeling of these. The idea is we look at wealth from a three-layer perspective. How you think, how you decide, and how you structure wealth. Normally, people look at this separately, but it's important to look at it from something that connects, because then you can bring it all together. Like what Shirley and Tracy were mentioning about alignment. That's how we work on wealth, in alignment with all the different dimensions. Not only look at purpose or not only look at your target or your business target, but bring it all together. And out of the three different layers, I would like to start here on how you think, like your inner layer on wealth. We also call this your inner assets or your inner wealth. You might have noticed that since you started the Telegram group, for those who have been in there for a few days, there might have been ideas, something that shifted around the topic of wealth. It's important to know that the way you relate to money is not always purely logical. I'm a project manager for my background. So for me, it's about setting milestones, clarity, and getting there. But it doesn't work that way when you look at wealth, because you have like more aspects to it. If you talk to people who invest, they keep telling you investing is like 20% setting your targets and 80% your psychology. So that's a very important thing. And that's also what I've seen quite often with clients who wanted to build wealth, to build out their portfolios towards a longer time frame. And that's why I find it very important to look at inner wealth first before going into the external asset topic, like setting up a portfolio. So if we look at wealth not always being a logical thing, it's shaped by your experiences, your expectations, and also your internal patterns. And you might have worked hard on yourself to work on these patterns. Sometimes they keep coming up again, so that you have like different loops or different iterations. So you need to go through when you want to build wealth, when you want to build your business, when you want to achieve your business goals. So these loops, these challenges is what we refer to as inner wealth, or also as your inner assets. And in this case, it's not only about positive thinking, like it will all work out if I work hard or if I just go into the field and it will manifest. But it's really about acknowledging where you are at the moment, acknowledging your feelings, which is the questions Michelle was asking in the beginning. How do you feel about your wealth goals? And I'm very grateful that you've all openly shared what you feel about, because that's an important thing. It's not only about setting the goals, but acknowledging how you feel about them. Because when you go through changes or transformation, the feelings might shift and the goals you have might shift as well. Like what you said at the beginning of year in January, if you have gone through a certain changes, transformational corridor, that there might be a shift, let's say, towards the second half of year, and just acknowledge that and being grateful for it. That's a very important thing. So the the concepts I would like to share on this call are from an author called Ken Honda. You might have heard of him. It's a Japanese author who has written many books in Japanese on wealth energy. He's based on Zen Buddhism. There are two of his books in English. They're called True Wealth and Happy Money. He's also worked with Jack Canfield in the US. Jack Canfield, the author of Chicken Soup for the Soul. You might have heard of him as well. And Ken Honda is working with different concepts around wealth energy, and two of them I would like to explore with you. The first one is the concept of inner assets. That's what we've already shared in the Telegram group a little bit around. So your inner assets versus outer assets. Outer assets is what most people see as outer wealth, like the amount of money you have in the bank, your business, the amount of money you make, or your salary. That's the outer assets. So the inner assets are about your beliefs around money, then how you handle money, how you spend money, because this is about when money comes in, how you relate to it, how you handle unexpected situation with money, like if you have unexpected invoices, or if you have a client who doesn't pay your invoices, for example. Inner assets is also about what you've learned around money as a child, how you were brought up, and whether this is still in line with what you need now, because there might be a whole shift you need to go through between what you've learned in the first hand and where you're now, and which kind of beliefs you need now to bring for example, to bring your business to the next level, to grow your wealth, or to go onto a new level of wealth creation. So in short, Ken Honda describes it as happy money, because it's about how money comes to you. Is it in a happy way? Like if you write invoices to your clients, or if you pay invoices yourself, how do you see them? Are the invoices you need to pay are just a nuisance, and you have to do it, and you see it as money going out, leaving you? Or are you grateful for it, like grateful for the services you have been given by the other person? And the same thing, if you write invoices to your clients, do you respect them and write the invoices in a short time frame, or do you just wait for a longer time so that they accumulate, and then you do it all in a bunch, and then you do it in a hurry? Or a practice I've set up, usually when I have clients paying my invoices, I send a thank you email to thank them, and they really appreciate that. That was also in the spirit of Ken Honda. And you might have heard the sentence from Napoleon Hill, what do you think of most of the time? And you could reframe it from a money perspective. How do you think about money most of the time? If you look at your day and you have financial or money topics coming up, is it that when you were in a good energy before, then you think about money and it feels like, whoa, I have to do that, or it's stressful, or it's I can't cope with it? Or is it something like, yeah, there might be an opportunity which I need to go into, I might learn a new skill, or there might be a contact opening up? So it could be very different ways of thinking around it. So that was about the topic of inner assets. We will have time later on to ask questions. in a second step, I would like to explain the topic of the money container. Michelle, could we move to the next slide? Thank you. The second concept from Ken Honda I would like to introduce is the money container, which is how you hold money. You can imagine the money container like a fruit bowl, which you have on your living room desk. The bowl has to be large enough to hold all the fruit if you have different kinds, and it should not be crowded. That's basically the money container idea from Ken Honda. It means when money comes into your life via business, via salary, via investments, via other sources, your nervous system has a certain amount of money it can hold per month or per year, what you feel comfortable with. And the idea is if there's way more money coming your way, for example, if you win the lottery or if you get an inheritance or any other large chunk of money, could be also if you approach retirement and you get your pension fund money in one large amount, then your nervous system might have a challenge to cope with that large amount of money and not how to process it, but how to hold it. Therefore, the name of money container, what you allow yourself to hold. And this ties back again to the inner assets, which I've explained before, like what you've learned, what is acceptable from somewhere, what you've seen, maybe what other people have earned, what the people in your environment earn. You have certainly heard of the phrase, you are the essence of the 5 people who are close to you. And therefore, if you have an understanding of where you want to go on a monthly money perspective or on a yearly target, your nervous system, ideally, according to the idea of Ken Honda, should be capable of holding that. And if you want to go to the next level, like increase, or if you, I'm just reading the comment from Sophia. Thank you. And so if you have larger business targets, or if you have the real estate project where you will have a large amount of money coming in, it might make your journey easier if you adjust your nervous system to holding that larger amount of money to make it feel comfortable with it. And there might be a difference. That's also an interesting topic between what your nervous system can hold and what your soul frequency is about. Because the soul frequency might already be way ahead of time and way ahead of the amount, and your nervous system is not yet there. So that's also 2 different aspects. If you bring them together, that's also about alignment, what we were mentioning earlier. So what might happen if the money container is, let's call it overflowing, and it's too much for your nervous system? Then what can happen is that extra costs or invoices show up, which you didn't have on the radar, which weren't planned. That's what can happen. Whereas if you have been working on your money container before, like training your nervous system on holding more, then the journey will be easier because you will be more, your nervous system will be more comfortable with holding it. And will also with being relaxed when it doesn't show up immediately. That's another one. And the money container, that's also important, is not only a rational mental thing, it's also something on an energy level. Again, nervous system. You can feel with your energy, with your first and second chakra, like that it feels great when you feel into it. Let's say you want to achieve X amount, I don't know, 20K a month or 30K a month or more. That what does it feel like in your system, not only in your head? That's an important one. Or the amount you have as a yearly target. And how do you feel at the end of the year when you have reached that target? What does it make you feel? Not only what it looks like on your bank account, what it makes you feel, and what it means to you in tangible results. Like what can you do with it? What kind of freedom will you have, for example? Hi, Michelle. Thank you for asking. How do I train my nervous system? There are different methods you can use for the money container. First of all, what you can do to work on the possible limiting beliefs, you can use emotional freedom technique to find if you work on feelings like it feels scaring to have this large amount of money, or I'm not allowed to have that because my parents were earning X amount and they wouldn't accept me anymore if I tell them that I'm earning way more. And a second possible step, which I train in my courses and on the community, is a walking meditation inspired by Joe Dispenza, how to expand your money container, like stepping in small intervals, step by step into your field, and feeling how your nervous system expands. That's not a process you do within 5 minutes, but could be along several days or along several weeks, so that you can really expand and slowly go in there and feel it on a physical level as well. I hope that answered the question. Thank you. I think we can go to the next slide. We have some questions for you so that you have reflection time and go into these. Thank you, Michelle. So as a first question, what are your existing and possible sources of income? Before we go into the money container topic, this is about like getting your structure so that you have clarity. You may take a larger piece of paper and write down pillars, what you have now, what you would like to have. And I think we got 2 minutes for that, Michelle. So
yeah, we have a few minutes for this. There are some more questions. And I think, remember when you guys said at the beginning, Tanya, I'm just going to jump in, where you said, there was a couple of emotions that were coming up with the questions, right? With this question, try to park that so that those feelings don't come into this potential question, because, Shirley, I know you said you've got three things, right? And it's set in your thinking. But if you tie the emotion that you had in the beginning to this now, then it will be a bit challenging. So what I want you to do is park everything from before, all the feelings that you had, and even add extra sources of income onto that, not just your 3 pillars. Like, what are the amazing things you can think of, right? Like, push it a bit higher and bigger than you had before in only your 3 structures. Does it make sense?
Yeah. Like drawing a bigger picture, whatever you can imagine. You first start with the pillars you have, which are existing, and then you come up with other ones you can imagine. Maybe projects you had in mind, which you've postponed because of lack of time, lack of resources, whatever. Write them down. Or maybe if you feel you need to build up a skill set for X project or for going more into investing or whatever, put it in there as well, because it enlarges your view, it expands your perspective, going into the bigger picture.
Okay, I'm going to move on, Tanya. So we're going to come into, there's a couple more questions here, right? This is going to take a little bit longer. So we're going to give you some time on these, right? Because I really feel that they're important questions to ask yourself. So I will put on a bit of music just now for yourselves. Tanya, do you want to run through them, or would you like me to run through the questions?
I will do. Do you want to start the music first, or you will start it afterwards? Yeah.
Let me figure it out while you're busy doing the questions.
Yeah, I think I'll explain the questions first. Yeah. So you have had an overview in the first question around possible sources of income. Like that was a very, let's put it, rational exercise. Like what are the possibilities? What do I have already? What we are going into now in this reflection space is like getting a feeling of how money comes to you. That's the basic idea of why we are asking these questions on this page. So the first question is, how did money show up for you during the year of 2025, which was last year? Did you have like a regular source of income? Did it show up in different ways? Like, did you have quarters where you had more money coming in or less money coming in? Did you have changes over the year? Did you have unexpected money come in or unexpected costs which came in?
Sorry, guys. My screen stopped sharing as I was looking for the music. Give me a second. I'll put it back up.
Thank you, Michelle.
Give me a sec.
And then if you compare 2025 now to 2026, since beginning of year, how did money show up? We are now in end of April, since January. Was it different? Was 2026 until now different from 2025? And then next question, is there a rhythm or a pattern you see? Maybe also related to your streams of income, which you've drawn in the on the step before. And as a third question, did you consciously structure your flow, or did you do anything differently? 2025 compared to 2026, how you started 2026, or do you intend this year to do something differently? And fourth question, was there a change in sources of wealth or income for you? Did you stop doing something? I'm going back to the third question because Shirley asks, what does it mean consciously structure your flow? Consciously structure your flow in this case means if you've got a business, did you plan which products to launch during which quarter so that you have like plannable income per quarter or per month? Or did you set up, for example, investment positions for specific quarters so that you know you would have like passive income coming in, which might complement your business income? Does that make sense? as an answer? Okay, thank you. So going back to the fourth question, was there a change in sources of wealth or income for you? For example, that you've stopped a product or a service if you're a business owner, that you have ended a long-term mandate, that you had a salary before and you've stepped into your own business, for example, or setting up passive income, which you haven't had before, or anything stopping and you had to replace a source of income? And last question, are there any such changes during the next 5 years? Like, are you planning, for example, if you're planning for retirement, if you're planning a new business, if you're planning new products, if you're planning new income streams, or planning to have more passive income, learn about how to make money in the stock market, or whatever you can imagine? Which ties back again to the slide we had before around the sources of income. Do you plan anything around changes for your sources of income? And we give you some time for this exercise so that you can take your time. Michelle, do you want me to share the slide with the questions?
I've dropped them into the chat.
Okay.
And in case, so I'm going to share that. I just wanted to try and get the music going for you guys so you can just reflect a bit, but I don't know if it's going to happen today because there seems to be a challenge. So bear with me.
So you have the questions in the chat. We continue in about 5 minutes, which is, yes, we can hear the sound, Michelle, it's all fine. remember, there are no right or wrong answers. The important thing is that you acknowledge the situation you're in at the moment, whatever it is, that you acknowledge it and you're aware of it and aware of the feelings you have around it. Got another about 2 minutes left before we will continue. Slowly coming to the end of the exercise. For those of you who would like to share insights in the chat, we invite you to do so. But we are aware this is a very personal and private exercise. So if you don't want to share, that's perfectly fine as well. And we hope you had precious insights into all these questions. And congratulations that you had the courage to look at these questions, because most people struggle to do that if they look at their own financial situation, because the feelings could be strong and unexpected. So give approval to yourself that you have taken this very important and courageous step. Does anyone want to share in the chat around the answers you have noted down on the questions? If not, that's perfectly fine. And I suggest we continue. In the next step, we want to look at the how to expand your money container and what could feel right for you. Therefore, the first question regarding the money container is, what level of income would feel expansive for you, like on a next level and aligned with your energy? You might answer this question either on a monthly basis or on a yearly basis, or do both. And if you feel it's just too overwhelming now to answer that question, you can also take the question with you and answer it during the day or during the next days. That's why we've put all the questions on the worksheet we've provided in the Telegram group. And also notice what are the feelings when you think about that number, or maybe when you play around with different numbers and get an idea of what's the feeling if I go higher, if I go lower, what does it feel like? And in this case, don't think about your business targets. Just think about what comes up on the emotional side. What would feel expansive? What might feel like getting out of your comfort zone? And how does your nervous system react? If you say, I want to have X amount of money per month, how does it feel like? And if you try it with different amounts, then note down the feeling you have with the amounts. Then, as a second question, if you look at these amounts, what might be limiting beliefs which come up and which would hinder you to go into that field and to really be open to that money flow? If you look at the figure, what comes up? Is there anything like, oh, I can't imagine that. Oh, what would other people think about me? Would I need to learn another skill set? Would I need to be with other people, have another network, go into another business, whatever? It also could feel just exciting, like if I want to go in there, it's an exciting journey to do it, and I'm open to it. That might come up as well. Or what's the next step to go there, as a question. So the reason why we've done this exercise is you set your rule of what you believe is possible as your monthly or yearly income. You don't have a fixed income ceiling. If you look at different streams of income and you balance them out to go to the next level, it's a reflection of your current identity, what you think is possible. And if you go into the expansion of the money container, make your nervous system comfortable with a next step of a larger amount, maybe where your soul frequency wants to lead you, then you slowly go into alignment of the two.
So I just wanted to drop this in because obviously the components is that we work through the stuff ourselves also. Tanya and I do this as well, right? It's not something that we just teach. So I think one of the components is that sentence, it's a reflection of your own or your current identity. And sometimes we're still holding on to stuff that we think we have to hold, right? So even if you park your money container in a separate component and you take your identity, and sometimes you're holding stuff in that identity that you actually need to let go of, right? Because it doesn't actually serve the moment going forward. And that's also a bit of a scary space because you have to let that go, you know, and to let that go and move forward, to be able to step into, you know, a new identity is also a little bit, it's sometimes wobbly, right? So the point is that if you find a mechanism where you actually work through the questions and your belief, you know, because, you know, Tracy, you said at the beginning, you know, like I put the stuff, but then I get the, you know, I've got all my goals and then I just like flat, right? Because I don't reach them. I put them on paper. I do the things that I think I'm supposed to do. The challenge being is that sometimes that identity that we're resonating with is actually something we had to let go of before we can start this process, you know? So I wanted to add that in because the components here, that's part of the limiting belief, but it's not always your limiting belief. It's just like you're holding on to this old version of yourself because, yes, maybe you don't believe you deserve a new thing, but there's also that holding on to something that's not you anymore. And it's being courageous enough to say, you know what, that doesn't serve me. How can I step into something else? How can I build something different? So that reflection of your current identity, it needs to be able to change. Does it make sense? Yeah, Tanya, sorry.
Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, that was an important point. And maybe to add to that, if you work with other people for your business, something I've experienced over the last 12 months is also, do they support where you want to go? Are they in line with that? Do they have the frequency you need? Do they support you or do they drain you? Because if they drain you, then it's a challenge. Doesn't need to be your close team. It might be the accountant you're working with or the bank advisor or the content creator, any person which is related to your business or to your personal finances. Or if you are an investor, is the broker in line with your energy or would you like to change? That's a situation I had where I've tested on different ones and then came up with a clear decision what was in line for me and not what someone else told me, like you should do, or this is the most cost effective, whatever. At the end of the day, if you have an understanding of your own wealth energy, you get a feeling of what is in line with you, because it's a very personal answer for you, what works for you as objectives, where you want to go, and the people or the resources you want to work with. And this might change over time if you go through personal change. Last year, you might have had different people working for you than this year if you want to reach new objectives.
So last point, Tanya, before you move on, because I know we need to move on, but I think one of the things also is to, you know, our minds are so busy and our bodies and our nervous systems are so busy in the current world or in where we're at. So one of the components about that moment to make this effective for you is to quiet that mind, to quiet your mind. And however you guys are doing it through meditation or what have you, but it's to tap into that nervous system of yours, right? And you can only really do that when your brain is quiet, yeah? Because when your brain is too busy, to tap into your nervous system makes it quite hard, yeah? So I've found for me personally is to, you know, when you quieten your brain and you tap into your own nervous system, and then you ask one question that's not ambiguous, it's a question of your own intuition. And you know that moment where some of you guys have got like, I get the spark in the shower, or I get it like when I'm walking on the beach, or I get this big poof of something, right? Generally, that's the moment when you've tapped into this intuition or your system, you know, and then you've come out with a particular, you've allowed yourself to come up with that, right? So in those moments, it's around quietening that thought process to actually become in alignment with this new identity that you want, because that also then, it doesn't mean what Tanya's saying. I mean, I've had it. Content creators aren't aligned with my energy, right? Some of the people I'm working with aren't aligned with my energy. It doesn't mean dropping them straight away and going, hey, boom, right? It just means, what is the next step to take this? So if I'm looking for this project on the property with Shirley and we're looking for that, have I got the right people there that are in line with my energy that actually want me to succeed? Because some of the people that I've had in my team, their energy is not in line with making money because they've got challenges in belief in money systems, which then brings back down to the fact that you can't make money if the people around you don't want to make the money, right? So all of these things tie together. And I think that's what Tanya was trying to say also, just to expand on that a bit, Tanya, because that's how I also understand it and apply it. Yeah.
Thank you, Michelle. Yeah.
All right. Any questions, or should we move to the next step? Move on? Yes.
Yeah, I suggest we move on and we go into the structure. Thank you, Michelle. So in our next part, we'll be looking at the 4 dimensions of wealth, which is how you decide and how you structure, especially how you structure your wealth. And we were already talking about alignment in several parts before. So this is the model to help us align all the dimensions of wealth. You have purpose on top, which is about direction and meaning. It's about why you want to grow your wealth and where you are headed. It's also about your time frame to build wealth, long or short term or mid-term. And of course, it's also what makes you feel alive, what fulfills you in your personal work or in your business. It's both. Then you have value on the right side, which is about your natural strength, the value you give to others, your unique skill set or your selling proposition, what you're good at, and about trust and attraction, which you bring into your field, and how therefore money comes into your field when you give the value. Then about flow on the left side, which are the opportunities flowing towards you. That's what we've worked on in the reflection space before, like getting an understanding of the money flow, how money comes to you. And of course, it's also about your personal flow, what brings you joy. And that's an important one, going back to what Tracy, you said. If you have business goals which stress you out and which make your energy flat, that can be very challenging. If you look at what are the products which I give with joy, because it's a pleasure to create them and to bring them out to my clients. And that's a different kind of energy. That's where you can use the personal flow to bring it into your business flow as well. For your personal flow, it's also important which daily routines or activities can support your personal flow. That's what Michelle was just referring to. If your mind is like constantly busy, thinking of different things, doing a lot of multitasking, then it's challenging to ground your flow. Because if you have the flow just spinning around, then you can't ground it. So what we use in our work is the concept of inner sovereign and personal power, so that you get grounding in your energy, so that you are able to bring it to the outside. But you have to be grounded and in your energy in the first place before you can give to clients or give to the outside or take good investment decisions. If you're not grounded, and you look at all the financial noise going on as an investor, it's very challenging to make good decisions. Same if you're a business owner and you give services to clients, you need to have this grounding and this being in your energy before. And flow is also about the leverage and expansion of your wealth and your resources. You might know this concept from the models, for example, wealth and talent dynamics you might have worked with. And then the fourth dimension is resources. That's how you handle money, assets and networks, how resourceful you are. And resources also kind of brings it all together, aligned financial success, so that you have a clarity on that one. We are now going through each of the dimensions to give you some practical examples. We invite you to take these questions, which you see on each page and which are on your worksheet, and you can use them for a reflection during the next days to deepen the topics. We hope that will be helpful for you. And I would like to give you some examples for purpose. So purpose as direction and meaning behind your work and your wealth creation. What calls you forward? What gives your work its deepest meaning? As an example, we have clients who we help to create freedom of choice when they want to retire early, by helping them to grow their financial skill set. So that's the purpose on our side, because we have in the team this big vision that we can help women who want to go on for earlier retirement, that we help them gain the financial skill set, so they set up their portfolios in a proper way and have their wealth energy aligned to that. And we have one team member who is very passionate about stock charts and technical analysis, and teaches how to use to make money in the stock market by explaining stock charts like a painting. You imagine you have a painting and you want to see in this painting how the money flows are visible, so that you can use them to make money in the stock market. Normally, I get that investing for many people, it's a very dry topic. Like, it's about figures, it's about numbers, it's about lines, it's about company reports, and that's very boring. So we try to do a different approach here to be more passionate about that topic. Then on the next slide, Michelle, could you change to the next slide, please? For the topic of value, the contribution you bring through your natural strengths. What value do you bring into the world, and where do others naturally benefit from your strength? What I'm very passionate about is I have a deep cycle knowledge on commodity cycles and on energy cycles, and an understanding of figures like company reports and the like, and also about how institutional money flows into different stocks. So what I'm passionate about is bringing all of this together to really understand how to create an advantage in investing. As a practical example, if I look at a stock chart with a specific indicator, I see it's called Chaikin money flow. I see how the money flows in there, and I will try to understand how to bring that into an investor advantage, so that positions can be set up in a perfect timing, so that they won't correct immediately, but that we have an understanding that we go with the flow and build up the position and take profit afterwards, so that we have that we kind of can calculate and can get a feeling of how this will play out in the end. And I also teach how to do that. So for the next one, it's about flow, explaining different streams of income. That's the exercise we've done before. And the freedom it brings as an eye-opener, how the opportunities moved towards you in the form of different streams of income. That's the questions we had before. Is there a pattern you see, and how you structure your flow? And on the last one, for resources, could you please change to the next slide? Thank you. The financial and material outcomes of aligned action. Like, if you have the visibility of all these 4 dimensions, what does aligned financial success then actually look like for you? What are the streams of income you want to work on? Which ones do you want to have your focus on to bring it all together? And what's the business architecture in your wealth look like for you? What works for you? Not for X other people who are out there who want to explain what should work for you, but what works for you personally. And which kind of financial skills would you like to build in order to get there? Thank you, Michelle. And then handing over to Michelle for the next step.
So the point now is to actually take all of these reflections that you've had over the time. I know that we went through the last 4 a little bit faster, but it is in your workbook, right? I have dropped it in the Telegram group. But when you bring this all together, right, this comes back down to tying into your money container with your ability to design the life that you want, your manifesting ability, that kind of thing. I think my internet's wobbling. Sorry. The questions that you're going to have to ask yourselves is, if you knew that you could not fail, right? All of these things that you put together, and if you knew that you have a system in place to grow your wealth in a sustainable way, and if you knew that you can hold your container and it can grow no matter what, right? Then what? So bring that together. Maybe like jot a note down. Think how you considering this. What does it mean? Like all the things that you've learned today. And I know it's a lot. So please don't think that it's all going to happen just after 90 minutes. It's going to be infused and you guys are going to know everything and be able to take it forward. It's going to be a process, right? So these questions are actually in the workbook, yeah? So you don't have to stress to write them down. But what I'd like to do is to then take those questions a little bit further, right? And these are the things, like, as we've been speaking, I mean, from an example point of view, Tanya's given you some, I've given you some, but what are you working with? Like, if you just close your eyes and you think about it, what do you feel that's not working in alignment with you anymore, right? In this step. that you're working with? Like, what just doesn't work? What doesn't feel right? And if you just pause into that, make a small note. It doesn't mean you have to get rid of it today. It just means that you have to acknowledge it so that you can do something with it, right? In which area of your life or your business is this showing up? Is it with properties that you're trying to buy and sell? Is it with the stock portfolio? Is it just with bringing in money day to day? Where is it, right? And then the question comes, do you want to release what's not working so you can step to the next level, right? The logical answer, would be, of course, right? But maybe there's some things that are stopping you from releasing that, right? So if that's the case, then jot those down. Like, remember in the previous slide, it was like, if everything was in alignment and everything was working, what would I need to let go of? And sometimes that letting go is also a scary spot, you know? Sometimes it's also not something that makes it easy for us to go into a space of yes, I want to move forward, right?
Maybe I can add to that. Thank you, Michelle. If you want to go to a next level, always be aware that you need to consciously close the step you had, the level you had before. You can't just step into the next level like running to the next milestone. A very important aspect is that you have to do the acknowledging of the last level, like that you're grateful for all you've learned on your last level, for all the people you've worked with on your last level, and maybe not all of them will accompany you to the next level. Like, it's being conscious. It's in a way doing the mourning of, yes, my system might feel uncomfortable with stepping into the next level, but I'm grateful for all I've learned in the last level. And I give myself enough time to process the last level before I'm stepping towards up to the next level. That's a very important transition. I'm working a lot on transitions because I've had the experience with clients that usually people don't think about this as a transition and they just want to go to the next level immediately now. They're not ready yet. So if you're able to acknowledge it, be grateful for it, process it, build your inner strength, your inner assets before you jump towards the next level, the journey will be easier. Are there any questions so far? I know it was a lot of content we've shared. We've made you answer many, many questions. You can always come back to the worksheet afterwards. That's why we've given it to you. And you will have the workbook to go into more depth during this week and next week if you wish.
Shirley, are you frowning? Do you have any questions? Or you're good?
No, I'm just thinking.
That's a good thing.
Hmm.
Tracy, any questions on your side? Are you feeling okay with what the exercise is so far?
No, it's been really good. Energy, which is great, and had a few light bulb moments, which has been good. And it was actually, Tanya was talking about if you've been part of the group, that some energy may have shifted, because I became a member, but I haven't really, like, my brain's been discombobulated for I don't know how long. So I haven't really been concentrating it, but I have noticed in the last week there's been some shifts in my thinking and in my energy. So and it was funny when Tanya was saying, I was like, yeah, I'm part of a group that's, more global than what is surrounding me right now, and particularly myself surrounding me right now. And just some ideas have been coming up, and even, I don't know, I do a lot of stuff in the SME market, in businesses, and just, I don't want to do it anymore. But then some of this stuff, I go, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. Like when Tanya was just talking about transitioning in that part, like businesses don't do that. They don't do the transition grateful. And I do a lot of like formal change management. And I've even had, and which is partly why I've been rethinking, is that what I want to do my own stuff, and I still want to contribute to businesses in the stuff that I do, but more forward than what I have been doing. The HR stuff, the legal stuff is just, everyone's out there doing that stuff and it's not working. So just when she was saying it, I'm just like, yeah. So anyway, that global thinking stuff's coming in, and I've got ideas flashing, going off as I'm listening. So yeah, no, I'm going well over here.
That's really great.
It's
nice.
night.
And I think
it's evening, but going great. I'm not sure how much sleep we'll get tonight.
That's okay.
For a good reason.
For a good reason.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yes.
Because I know we spoke at the beginning of March, right? Somewhere there. So you can see the transition does take a bit of time to let go of some things and get your system ready for the new pathway, And I think when you get alignment into those moments, it's when you don't feel alignment, it's about, why am I not feeling that alignment? What's shaking me up that's not the right thing?
Just interestingly, when I was going through some of the questions, one of the light bulb moments, which I did want to share, is around money and feeling like my container is not aligned with where I want to be. What I noticed is I earn a lot of my money, or have learnt a lot of my money and good money in my career, i.e. salary. But I don't want to be in salary. I'm a change agent. I like going in and coming out. And I also I don't want to just do services. I want to do products as well. But when I look at, so I know how much I'm worth in the market, and my own skills and my own confidence in what I can do. I always go, this is what the role's worth and what I'm worth in that role. So I go a little bit less. I noticed that. And I went, oh, that's interesting, because I don't want to feel the stress, but I always burn out. So I have the stress anyway. And I look at that same thing about how much I would like to be earning. And I go, okay, doing that myself in my own business, I go, but no, I can't. That's where I start to jumble. And I go, and that is why the last 12 months or 14 months up until January, I went back into working full time in an organisation, because I knew that was my being organised around flow. I was getting a salary in, and then I can pay things off, and I can do this, and I can. But it's not how. So it's like I could see how my things are not aligned, which I haven't had that. I've just been discombobulated, and it's just been so messy. And I've just gone, that makes sense. You've actually helped me, because I think both of you are fairly structured in the way you approach things in your different ways. And I've gone, that's what it is, because I'm very creative, and probably I help others with structure in businesses, but I'm not structured myself. So I love structure, because I love it. Yeah, it just helps to, which is why I help in businesses. I can see where it works. But for me, myself, that's not my natural strength. So, it's been really, really helpful. So anyway, that's the little light, one of the little light bulbs that's gone off.
It's I've
been sitting here quietly.
Yeah, it's a great light bulb, and it's a really good thing. And I congratulate you for opening it up, because now by putting it out there, it's actually something that you can work through and you can go with it, So that's really, really important part. So Shirley, is there anything you wanted to add, or should I just move on to the last bits of what we're going to do next? Is there anything you want to?
No, I'm ruminating on what I no longer feel in alignment with, and I'm trying to identify. I know there's some things that I've not been comfortable with, but I'm just need to sort of really think it through to see if I can pin down what they are. So no, that's fine.
Yeah, my suggestion is don't think too much. Don't use this too much.
Yeah.
Because the thinking is what it's, when you go into your quiet and your thinking, and then you go into more of a meditative space, into your intuition. Try to touch into the intuition to answer the questions instead of into the practical to answer the questions.
Yep.
Does it make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense to me. Yeah.
Because then when you think too much, the thinking almost blocks the flow, right? So it's opposites in a way, because it's the same thing when you say I think versus I believe. Those words are different, right? It's the same as when you think too much about what you must let go and you don't just feel it. So my suggestion would maybe this afternoon or this evening when you're going to bed, it's a really easy way to do it, is because try to start your sleeping in like get rid of all the tension in your body, like squeeze up everything and calm that brain, and then ask the one question that you want to ask today, so that in your sleep and your processing, you wake up tomorrow morning with a little bit of a different perspective. And because it's late in the afternoon, that might help, but definitely try to stop the thinking and go more to the feeling. Yeah.
Yep. Perfect. Thank you.
Pleasure. Tanya, should I move on, or did you want to add anything in?
Yeah, I suggest we move on. Yeah.
Okay. Amelia, I know you're here, but you're not here. So I'm just going to run through a couple of things. Ultimately, from where we sit today, that we opened that Shape Your Wealth Telegram group. It will be open until the 2nd of May for you guys. Please use it to ask questions, drop your thoughts in. It is available to you. So I'd really love you to do that. Yeah. Because it's a great place for you to also reflect on what's happened. So let us know over the next few days what's happened, how you feel about it, where you've settled, if there's any how do I questions, or I want to do that, or I'm not sure. Please use the group. It's a really amazing space. We'll drop some content also over the next few days into that. So the 2nd of May, I think, is the weekend. So you've got a few days to process. And then what we also have is from, the next steps to take this into your businesses is we are running some sessions in May. It's 3 live transformational sessions, which takes more of what we've done today and aligns it with that actual business sense. The sessions, it's like 3 days where we run 90 minutes on each of the sessions, or 90 minutes to 2 hours. I'm not sure 100% how long it will take, but you got to give yourself time. We do like shedding your old identity and your old skin. We work then on a bit more of that deeper transformation, and then we're building out that, vessel that you want for your freedom. So if this does resonate, reach out to me for sure. We can definitely do that. We have special discounts for you guys that are in the group at the moment. So I'll drop that in the next few days. And then we will also start a preparation for this journey in the beginning of May. Not sure the date we're opening it, but don't stress about that.
Yeah, it's on the 7th of May. So
there we go. I forgot that part.
Yeah, no worries. So that you have 7 days to prepare, because we found out that it's a smoother pathway into going deep if we have the Telegram groups before. Yeah.
So that'll enjoy for you. So ping me if you'd like to come and do that. And yes, I just wanted to really, spend a bit of time saying thank you to you guys, because this is something that we really enjoyed putting together. And Tanya and I have really, really, really enjoyed this work. I've been enjoying the work that I've been doing with her and for myself and for the changes. And I love to see that you guys are able to facilitate these changes. And this is just the first step in your entire journey and where you're going with this. So I would love you guys, because I know we're on the hour, we're a few minutes late. Would you mind sharing what your biggest takeaway from the thing was today? What your biggest thought was? What your biggest, Tracy, you shared your aha moment, but is there anything else that you'd like to share as a one nugget that was the biggest takeaway from the session for you today?
I think I'll just say turning up and enjoying your sharing of this work. is probably remembering to do that. It's
Amazing.
probably a big one for me.
And well done.
Yeah,
for
so
showing
thank you
up.
both.
Super proud of you for doing that. Shirley, your biggest takeaway from today?
I think the idea of having creating a structure for the flow was something that made me stop and think, because that's a conscious decision. And I kind of feel like I've been drifting a little bit. And in the last 2 weeks, I've made some very different conscious decisions. I now have a very structured pathway ahead of me. But the whole idea of alignment through purpose, value, resources, and flow, that you say approach it intuitively. Intuitively, I feel that there are some things out of alignment in those things, and I'm curious now to explore and to see what is old programming and patterns, and what I'm just unconsciously following, rather than really allowing myself to decide on my way forward. So you've started something. And I thank you for it. It's it's a surprise to me. So it's another step in my process of now moving forward, because I think things have changed for me considerably in the last couple of weeks. So, and this is opening up more for me to explore. So yeah, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Of course. I'm so glad that that's the outcome that you've got. So you ladies, thank you. I want to say thank you very much for sharing. I'm super grateful that you've shared and that you've been here today and you've been fully present. And Amelia, I know that you've dropped something in the chat and you said your takeaway was the powerful reflective questions. They're not always easy to answer. I know you've been here, you just, it was last minute for you, but I think that the questions are really important. And if you can find a little pocket in your world today or this evening to actually go through these questions for yourself quietly, go back to the questions, because maybe some things will change. And ladies, thank you very, very much. I'm super grateful, to everything and to all of you. And yeah, we really, really had a great time. Tanya, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And, for sharing.
It was a pleasure to contribute to this session. And I'm very happy that the questions came over as powerful. That's what they were meant to be. So we really wanted to guide you into this journey. And I'm so grateful also to see that we've started something. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thanks, ladies. Have a good evening, and we'll see you soon. Yes.